It's hard to imagine doing any worse than the Phoenix Suns did last season. This team finished with the worst offensive rating and defensive rating last year. In 2 of the first 3 games of the season, the Suns lost by at least 40 points, and there were more lopsided losses throughout the season. Saying the Suns were a bad basketball team will be putting it lightly. The 2 bright spots for this team was franchise player Devin Booker and rookie Josh Jackson. The 21-year-old star Booker had another good year despite missing 28 games. He had career highs in points, rebounds, and assists. Booker once again looked like one of the best scorers in the league, and he also made improvements as a playmaker. His shooting percentage got worse as the season went along, but that could be because of injuries and forcing shots because of the lack of other offensive creators on the team. Even though Booker voiced his frustration with the team, him and the Phoenix Suns agreed to a maximum rookie extension worth $158 million. This was a no-brainer for the franchise. Josh Jackson had a rough start to his career, as his shooting was just as bad as Lonzo Ball was. His play at times was borderline reckless, but his defense did translate well to the NBA, which was one of his strengths as a prospect. As the season went along, Jackson started to be more comfortable on offense and started to take better shots and made a better percentage of them. He isn't a good three-point shooter right now, and he may not ever be, but he's athletic, a good slasher, good defensive player, and a solid passer. There are definitely reasons to be optimistic with the changes they made this offseason. They may have another franchise player, and they hired a new coach. When you have a team as young as the Phoenix Suns, you need a coach who is patient and can develop players, and I think they hired the right coach in Igor Kokoskov. He has 18 years of experience in the NBA, and he's already spent time with the Suns from 2008 to 2013 as an assistant coach, and was also an assistant coach for the Utah Jazz since 2015. Kokoskov is the first head coach born and raised outside of the U.S. This year's draft was important for the Phoenix Suns, and with the 2 first-round picks they made, it's safe to say the Phoenix Suns will be on the rise. They drafted versatile big man DeAndre Ayton with the 1st overall pick. He's a physical freak who can score in a lot of different ways, with his back to the basket, rim running, mid-range, and from the three-point line. He has the tools to be a 2010 guy in this league. Pairing him up with Devin Booker could be something special. Both players can take pressure off each other as they grow together. Ayton thinks him and Booker could be the next Kobe and Shaq. Only time will tell though. They were able to trade for the 10th overall pick Mikal Bridges for their 16th pick. Bridges is a perfect fit for Booker and Ayton. He's a more better fit than Josh Jackson. Bridges is a bona fide knockdown three-point shooter with the ability to lock down on defense. When you have versatile offensive players like Ayton and Booker, legit 3-and-D guys are a godsend. With the newly acquired Trevor Ariza, Josh Jackson, and TJ Warren on the team, there's a chance Mikal Bridges might not get many minutes in his rookie year, even though I think he's NBA ready. Ariza will bring that important veteran presence that this team desperately needs and can help develop some good habits for the young players. Instead of re-signing with the Rockets for less money, Ariza decided to sign a 1-year, $15 million contract with the Suns. Can't really get mad at a player trying to get paid. The Suns' weakest position is at point guard. After missing the entire year with an ACL tear, Brandon Knight is set to return and is the early favorite to be the starting point guard, even though I believe his best position is off the ball as a scorer. But he's the player with the most experience at the position on this team. It would be nice for the Suns to get better production from their former top 10 picks, Marquise Chris and Dragon Bender. The 2 things that has held Chris back is his low basketball IQ and his attitude. He is constantly arguing with his coaches on the sidelines and occasionally take cheap shots at his opponents. Kokoskov will have a tall task getting Chris back on the right track. Dragon Bender has only been slightly better. His three-point shooting is good, but to be 7 feet tall, he has a hard time finishing around the basket. Bender shot around 30% from 3 to 10 feet from the rim, but he was a decent shot blocker last year, which is encouraging. I believe there's a chance Bender could start at the 4 position, but I believe Kokoskov will go small with Jackson, Booker, Knight, Ayton, and Ariza. I see rookie Eli Okobo and Shaquille Harrison battling for backup point guard minutes in training camp and preseason. TJ Warren was maybe the 2nd most consistent player on the team last year. He averaged 19 points and 5 rebounds per game on 50% shooting. But like Josh Jackson, he's not much of a three-point shooter. Old man Tyson Chandler is in the last year of his contract, and I could see him getting traded or bought out during the season. That would open up minutes for the athletic big man Richaun Holmes, who was traded for from the 76ers. The Phoenix Suns has the ingredients in place to make progress this year, but it might not result in many more wins this season.